sallallahu alaihi wasallam encouraged his Sahaba to do certain actions, we will find that he sallallahu alaihi wasallam was very perceptive of each person's temperament and personality. So it's not like he had a hammer and everything he saw was a nail. Or it wasn't like everything was perfectly fine and he wouldn't draw any attention. He was very balanced in the way that he spoke to his Sahaba. And I'll just give one example to exemplify this. Imam al-Bukhari, rahimahullah ta'ala, in Sahih al-Bukhari, he brings a chapter that discusses the importance of Qiyamul Layl, the importance of standing in prayer at nighttime. During Ramadan, we spend a lot of time in Taraweeh. So how do we take those qualities outside of Ramadan? Now, in that chapter, he brings two separate hadith. And they both emphasize praying salah and qiyamul layl. But what's beautiful about the hadith, both of them, is he sallallahu alaihi wasallam conveys the message in distinct and different ways. So for instance, in one hadith, he's speaking to the Sahaba, among whom Abdullah ibn Umar, his father, was over there. So he's speaking to his father and he says, Ni'ma rajulu Abdullah. You know, Abdullah ibn Umar, he's such an amazing person. He has such good qualities, because he's a youth, he's young. So he has such good qualities. You know, it would make my heart happy and it would make him a better individual if he would just spend some more time doing Qiyamul Layl. No rebuke, no harsh language, just saying he's already phenomenal. Just if he added this, it would increase his good qualities. Abdullah ibn Umar, he hears about this and it changes his life to the point, the narrator of the hadith, his son Salim, says that after hearing this, Abdullah ibn Umar would continuously do Qiyamul Layl and he never left it for the rest of his life. That's one hadith. The next hadith, the Prophet ﷺ is talking to another Abdullah. But this time it is Abdullah ibn Amr. Abdullah ibn Amr ibn al-As. The Prophet ﷺ is speaking to him directly. And he notices that there's some shortcoming in his practices. So he says to Abdullah, La takun mithla fulan. Abdullah ibn Amr, we're close. We have a good relationship. And I want to be blunt with you. Don't become like a person who prays salah at night for some time and then completely leaves it and never does it again. Have consistency in your life. He wasn't harsh, but he was to the point and he wanted to convey that message. What we learn from the sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ is when we communicate, whether to our own children, whether to our siblings, whether to our family, our friends, our co-workers, it can never work that we just use one style and we always constantly badger people with that. So for instance, with my son or with my daughter, I feel just always being very easy and relaxed is the way to go. If I'm seeing no improvement, doesn't mean I get harsh, but it means that my style needs to change a bit so that perhaps they can think a bit better. The other side, the other extreme is sometimes we're so harsh with our younger people or with our subordinates and it doesn't work. Maybe changing the tone a bit, like Nabi ﷺ said to Abdullah ibn Umar, Ni'ma rajul. You know, you're speaking to a younger brother or you're speaking to a younger nephew and you're saying, you know, mashallah, you're doing all these good things. It would be nice if you just, you know, increase this a bit or increase that a bit and perhaps you'll see the changes. So the one sunnah that we can learn from this is, let's be balanced and perceptive. Not always treating everybody the same, that I'm used to speaking and yelling, so I have to yell at everybody. Or I'm used to being hands-off, so that means even my own children I'm going to be hands-off. We need to be very perceptive. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala allow us to practice on the sunnah and bring this into our lives. Ameen ya Rabbil Alameen. Inshallah, after the remaining sunnah, we're going to have our weekly hadith session. Everyone is requested to participate.